You've heard of LGBTQ pride and Black pride, but have you ever heard of disability pride? If not, you're not alone. But today, we're here to explain. Hello, everyone. I'm Ariel. I'm with Unexpected Tours and Training, where we host creative virtual events and DEI training for remote and hybrid teams while keeping it fresh, unique, and interactive. Today, we're excited to tell you all about disability pride and help you foster a sense of connectedness and community within your workplace. Similar to queer pride and Black pride, disability pride is all about expressing confidence and dignity in the face of a long history of persecution and discrimination. For many centuries, American culture has portrayed disability as something to be ashamed of and something to be eliminated. So, for example, for over 100 years, cities across the US enacted forms of ugly laws that banned visibly disabled or disfigured people from public spaces. Also, decades of horrifying eugenics experiments tried to eliminate physical and intellectual disability from the gene pool. Disabled people have been institutionalized in inhumane conditions and segregated in separate but equal schools. People with disabilities weren't granted real legal protections until the 1970s. And it wasn't until 1990, when the Americans with Disability Act was passed, that disabled people were granted civil rights at the federal level. And unfortunately, despite this legislation, people with disabilities of all kinds still face discrimination and judgment when it comes to finding jobs, receiving health care, and being allowed to live full lives in an inaccessible society. So, disability pride is an incredibly powerful and important concept. Disability pride doesn't exactly mean that somebody with a disability should always feel excited about being disabled. Rather, it does refer to the idea that disability isn't something that is shameful or that should be hidden away. It also says that it isn't an individual's own responsibility to overcome their disability in order just to be accepted and included. People don't suffer from disability itself, but instead from a society that raises barriers to inclusion and makes it difficult for disabled people to thrive. Disability is a natural part of human life. It's nothing to be ashamed of, and people should feel proud of their strength and their communities. Did you know as many as 25% of Americans identify as having a disability? That means that understanding disability pride means we also need to understand just how diverse the disability community is. To do that, let's take a look at the disability pride flag. Yes, disability pride has its own flag, just like gay pride, bisexual pride, and trans pride flags. This disability pride flag has a multicolored stripe running diagonal across that black background, and each of these stripes represents a kind of disability. First, we've got that red color. Red represents people with visible physical disabilities or conditions. Some examples may include cerebral palsy, muscular dystrophy, missing limbs, or other mobility limitation. Then there's the gold color. Gold represents people with cognitive disabilities and neurodiverse individuals, such as those with ADHD or autism. In the middle, there's white. White stands for invisible or undiagnosed disabilities. These are disabilities that ordinary people might not know about just from seeing or interacting with a person. These can include chronic illness, chronic pain, or neurological disorders like epilepsy. Blue stands for emotional or psychological disabilities, such as anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, OCD, and PTSD. Lastly, there's green. Green covers sensory disabilities like visual impairment, deafness, and loss of smell or taste. The flag is also designed with important aspects of living with a disability in mind. So those colorful stripes, they unite into one. That conveys a sense of unity, as well as the fact that many people have multiple disabilities. It's set on a faded black background, and that's meant to convey a sense of mourning for those lost to discrimination, abuse, or neglect, fueled by bigotry and ignorance. The colorful striped band runs diagonally instead of parallel, with the edges symbolizing the isolation that disabled people often feel. And that white band, they placed it in the middle of the flag in order to separate the red and green color to make it easier for those with color blindness to view. That also lessens the chance of aggravating migraines or nausea when someone's scrolling past the flag online. Whether you identify as disabled or not, disability pride is an important global movement to celebrate, especially in the workplace. A 2023 study by the Boston Consulting Group revealed that while 25% of employees surveyed reported having a disability, only about 5% had disclosed that disability to their employers, perhaps because they feared stigma or discrimination. They also found that people with disabilities are far less likely to feel included in the workplace. So finding ways to celebrate disability pride and culture is a big opportunity to improve your company culture. Here are some ideas for celebrating disability pride and creating a more inclusive workplace where people of all abilities can thrive. First, consider using professional development or team building activities to increase awareness about disability. Consider bringing in professional speakers to talk about disability. An event like this is even more fun and educational with a panel of speakers, since even people who share the same disability will have different perspectives and experiences. Your team could also curate a bank of resources about disability to share internally, include books, podcasts, and movies, and gather together virtually each quarter for a book club or discussion group. Want to learn the history of the disability rights movement in the US and hear stories of incredible activists? Well, then join us for our Disability Pride virtual event. We'll link to more information in the comments below this video. Second, make sure that your company routinely assesses the accessibility of your workplace. If you're in a leadership role, consider creating channels for employees to offer anonymous feedback. What company policies make workspaces accessible? What policies, procedures, or expectations serve as barriers? Can those who are deaf or visually impaired access the same tools and resources as others? Do those who are neurodivergent or who experience chronic illness or pain have the flexibility in their work hours and settings that they need to be successful? Offering a chance to provide input anonymously can help shed light on issues that non-disabled leaders just may not notice, without making disabled employees feel unsafe or embarrassed. You can also hire professional accessibility consultants to help you identify and mitigate barriers. Disabled employees at many companies have also founded employee resource groups, or ERGs. An ERG can offer a safe space for employees sharing an identity to find solidarity, provide mentorship and support, professional development. Consider starting a disabled employees ERG, and if you're in a leadership role, make sure you commit funds and resources to support the work of this group. Regardless, you can foster disability pride all year round. Now, we celebrate Disability Pride Month every July, but October is Disability History Month and Disability Employment Awareness Month. And there are many other disability-related holidays and theme months throughout the year. So it really is always a good time to learn more and commit to fostering a respectful, inclusive workplace culture. Okay, that's all for now, but please share your thoughts or discussions in the comment section below. And don't forget, hit that subscribe. You want to keep updated on new resources coming out through our YouTube channel all the time. And if you are still unsure how to best celebrate disability pride with your team in virtual or hybrid workplaces, really don't hesitate to reach out to us. But thank you so much, and until next time.